We've been here for 5 years. Android 11, I guess it was. We just had three finger gestures in TalkBack. They then took them away from various phones in TalkBack 9.1. I remember that being a very annoying thing, and made them Google and Samsung specific at the start. But let's open it up. What's been everyone's sort of biggest change, biggest improvement? What have you enjoyed about how Android has developed over the past 5 years? Who wants to kick us off?
Well, I'm glad that even though I don't have this right now, when I get a Pixel, I will be able to. Dictation, double tap with 2 fingers to start dictation. That one is a huge game changer, I think. And because I use dictation a lot, and I think it will be easier for me once I'm able to use TalkBack 16, which would be on a Google Pixel, which I totally want.
Works on my Samsung because I already sideloaded 16.2 on there, and works fine on my Samsung device, for example.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Pixel exclusive.
The only requirement is Gboard.
Yeah.
You need to be using Gboard. The phone shouldn't matter.
What about other people? What's been the biggest change for you, or the thing you've appreciated most over the past 5 years?
Well, the whole thing, man. For the last 5 years, multi-gestures, magic tab, the image description, the evolvement of the actions, man, the whole thing's all around. Huge development.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. The image descriptions built into TalkBack makes a big difference as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you boys about the image description, Jacob and Harith. Really, so it used to be that I wasn't that keen on the camera description, image description. I used to give Karen a bad time about it, but frankly, finally my eyes got opened, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yeah, and each for their own what you call scenarios. Myself with my day-to-day jobs and lots of bills and lots of receipts and banking stuff, I used to have like difficulties with like saving the image, sending it to the computer, OCRing it with my offline ABY, whatever. It was like a huge hassle to do those things. So, man. Nowadays, it's just like it's as simple as a single gesture, and you got the description for that thing. If it's not a very personal, very sensitive issue, of course.
Indeed, and so I really like that image description. Yesterday, I was standing in front of a Christmas tree, and I'm like, Julia, watch. And so I pull out my phone, launch the camera app, my Pixel 10 Pro XL. I swipe down with 2 fingers, and it says, it sees a freshly cut Christmas tree with some posters on the wall and stuff around it, and it described it. It's just absolutely beautiful. And so if I wanted to take that picture, I could then take that picture at that moment. And so I'm really thankful for the image description. I used to think I didn't need it, but now I'm a believer.
Are you a believer? Would you have it describe the current dry nutrition event?
I would describe that dry.
It would say as usual, same old, no drinks, no food, not even what do you call them? Finger sandwiches or whatever.
Yeah, but at least I got some pretty ones in here, so that will suffice. How about that?
That should do.
Yeah, at least we agree on something.
That should do.
I think one of the better things is the OCR capabilities. I think Harith was talking about that a little bit with receipts and stuff, but being able to take a picture of a document and it recognize it, I mean, it's pretty accurate now, I think, for the most part. There's not too many hallucinations and whatnot, but so that's one thing with the advent of AI and all that. You have the hallucinations and it's still in the infancy, I guess you could call it. But I think it's been mentioned on this podcast before, whatever we're at now, it can only get better from here. At least we hope so, and that we don't go backwards like over in Fruitville.
For me, Android, I came when I had my Galaxy S9 and you didn't have multi-finger gestures, but you still get the latest TalkBack. At least as I've last seen, I got TalkBack 16. But nowadays, it's very, very different. You have all the new gestures that they've implemented, and even Braille display support has gotten a boost. You can actually use the NLS e-reader now, and I have one. So I give that a plus. I call that a pass.
Another one that I like is that spell last utterance. It's something I've been complaining about for the longest time, because if I'm on a word, I don't want to go into TalkBack menu and tap on spell last utterance or whatever. And so when they finally brought it back, or not brought it back, brought it in, I think that was what, John, maybe as of Android, was it 15.x, or I don't remember, but definitely I think it was last year when that got implemented. And I remember, John, you are telling me, hey, now Warren, you should be happy we now have that. And so I'm really thankful, because a lot of times I'm reading something and I want to find out a particular spelling of a word that I'm not familiar with, or some name that I want to know the spelling of, and I just use the gesture assigned to it and it spells it. And so for me, it's a win-win situation, a big change. I love it.
So a change you really need, Dave. You need to be able to navigate by word and character everywhere, and I don't know why you can't. Like on any icon, on any list, on any Telegram message. I don't know why this is not a thing you can do. You must surely be able to navigate by word or character wherever you are in the operating system and on whatever element. I don't get why you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree. If TalkBack has set it to you, it knows the words and letters because it said it to you. So why can't it just keep it in memory, even if you technically can't interact with the element for whatever reason?
Like the smart, do they call it smart actions, or like it recognizes different items so that you can have actions on them. So you have to like change like say you're in a Google Messages, you're on a text thread, and you tap on the message, and then you have to change the granularity to be able to.
That's right, but sometimes the granularities aren't available. So if you like go in your inbox, for instance, you can't switch to character. I'm saying you should be able to switch to character or word wherever you are.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't know if like that was like part of the underlying reason as to why. Google.
You were never able to do it. Like, even before actions, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, but let's say this though, Ed, you mentioned like spelling icons, for example, or switch your I can say that word, granularity to character. For example, say I'm on a home screen, you should be able to switch the character navigation if you're on an icon and you want to.
If they added virtualize the current screen to TalkBack, that would be doable easily, but it's not virtualized. Even with JAWS, you cannot do it with JAWS unless you switch to the cursor, JAWS cursor.
Yeah, so I mean, you can, for example, here,
home screen,
here,
folder,
let's go to an icon.
SMS backup.
So if I do
characters, capital S, capital M, capital S.
Warren.
Yes.
I want you to go to Telegram. No, go
Warren's
to Telegram.
Doing the demonstration. He knows it's going to work.
Yeah,
Warren,
some places you cannot
go to Telegram, Warren, and find a message.
No, well, Telegram, we know it doesn't work in Telegram.
But this is what I'm literally saying. That was my request.
If the label, Warren,
let me hang on. He was saying if it's a system, you are saying that icons, one could not go character by character, and that's why I'm saying at least you can do that, but it's not the Telegram that's not working. So I just wanted to kind of separate what is real and what is not.
Well, I think we all agree that it works most places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
There's
works.
no argument about
almost.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
one thing I want to say here is, I'm sorry,
knew
Warren,
this
to
was coming.
disappoint you, but Jisho works well with Telegram messages. You can move by words. You can navigate by characters, lines, whatever you want. So no,
Yeah.
they don't have line navigation, sentences actually. So yeah, so you can do
Yeah,
it
because
with Jisho.
because it uses almost a totally different browsing layout, like
Framework.
Yeah,
JAWS.
but
It's a whole different thing.
this is not what we are talking about. Actually, if Jisho is able to do it, the TalkBack can do it. So
If it depends on a different framework, they need to add it in TalkBack to be able to do so. Because
So I give
look,
it to
like
this,
the
this
OCR,
generator.
everything, like
That's
OCR, everything on Joshua, it's not doable with TalkBack because it's not even implemented as a service. So
but there's
La-
no
talk-
LCR
yeah.
service in Jisho, actually, in the TalkBack.
no, in
you
TalkBack
mean-
there is none. There is none.
Yeah, but
Yes.
this is a different thing. Actually, the thing related to this screen is because TalkBack always needs to focus on something. So when you
Yeah.
focus on something, yeah, but actually they worked on that, and you now have the ability to describe the entire screen. Unless if there is nothing that you can focus. This is another thing.
Well,
And
sometimes
unless
it can
you're in an app
focus, but
where-
still it won't do the character by character. It can read maybe IDs and it won't do the character by character on them. It would jump
but
jump
this
through
is-
controls and such.
This is a different thing. You're talking about two unrelated things. The focusing mechanism
Yeah, because
is
they're not
different.
related. The way Joshua, no, the way Joshua deals with the screen, different. It's way different from TalkBack.
Yeah, there's nothing that there is no objection regarding this. But what I'm talking about is that TalkBack is able actually to see the message. It's able to see the item. It's able to read it. And I think that I didn't try it, but if you try to spell, I think it will do it. Did anyone try that? Looks like no one did it.
What
So,
do
yeah.
you mean?
Yeah.
What you mean like spell
It's
spell a
flaky
word
when I tried
Telegram?
to do it.
No, spell the
If I
message.
recall correctly, it does spell it because I feel
does
like
spell
that's
it,
my
yes.
workaround.
Does it? Okay, so it's able to see the message. It's able to see the content. So
Well,
I
it's
don't think
different.
that
It's related. It's as related as the difference between the way NVIDIA browses the computer, the say control panel, and JAWS, how it browses the control panel. Sometimes
there
this,
could be workarounds.
yeah, exactly. You're talking
that's
about
what I'm talking
workaround.
about.
Yeah,
From TalkBack itself, because this is a known application. Okay, I know what Google does, but I'm talking about the principle itself.
how
So-
many browse modes Joshua have?
Oh, a lot. But I'm talking about
How many of those TalkBack have?
Nothing, only the.
There you go. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
The
but-
Joshua framework and the way it works and the services it offers, it's totally different from TalkBack. It's a different thing.
But it doesn't have to be that complicated.
It
is what we're
doesn't
saying. Like,
exactly. It doesn't have to be that
Like
complicated.
TalkBack
Just
could
just
say-
like exactly. If you remember,
TalkBack could say, if I can't
yeah,
interact
yeah.
with this certain item with words and characters granularities, then just remember the last thing I said, and let me go through that thing by word or character because I already know.
Yeah,
it's there 'cause I read it.
just like copy and append, just like the multi-gesture thing with the Samsung framework, it was doable. While TalkBack back then, the team used to say it's impossible to do. So it's a thing need to be added, like a new service need to be added. And I
So
think it's not as simple.
here
Yeah.
I am, guys. I got Telegram open, and I don't think it
That
works.
took a while, Warren.
For example, I'm in our
He had to-
blind group. Here's a message.
He had to log in.
See,
But what happens if WhatsApp desktop isn't backward compatible?
So,
even if the MS store
I'm
doesn't
gonna
update,
switch
the app
to,
has a mind of its own in characters,
okay.
words, reply, Android,
See,
evangelist.
Doesn't
Back.
work.
So it's not reading
It's not reading the message.
the
which is what we
message
said
that
would happen.
that's Nahash's wrote.
Okay, Warren, try to spell it. Try to use the spell last. What do you call it? Spell last utterance.
SNEHASHI.
Oh, so it's spelling Nahash's, yeah.
It does work when you do that.
Space WHA.
So why wouldn't it give me word?
I know, Warren.
Yeah,
This is
that's
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
exactly what we're
This
Yeah.
is the point.
That is bad. That's
That's a
I know.
lag thing.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
TalkBack lags here, big time.
I know.
Yeah, no,
that was my
no
point.
comparison when you talk about this and the confused screen reader. 'cause
Yeah,
I
no
think
comparison, of
the
course.
Yeah.
confused reader has
Yeah.
done it for the longest time. And
Yeah.
so we would love to see if there's a fix for it, unless, of course, it used to happen that WhatsApp didn't do it too, but I don't know what WhatsApp did, and it works. So Telegram guys, if you're listening, fix baby.
No, it's
soon.
not. It's not a Telegram issue.
It's
It
not
needs to be
Telegram.
universal.
It's somewhere else and
needs to
somewhere
be-
else and somewhere
So
else. It
you
depends
think it
on
was the TalkBack guys that fixed WhatsApp and didn't fix Telegram then?
No. I'm saying this needs to work universally. So it also won't work in
Yeah.
the message list. Like if you're in Aquamail or Outlook or anywhere, you can't like check a sender's name spelling in the message list. TalkBack
Well,
just needs to fix
how
it.
about how about this?
VoiceOver
Make
does
it
fix
simple, Warren.
Yeah.
Tell them. Well, the people with the trusted testing program need to tell them whatever read by TalkBack, it should be read character by character, word by word, because it's not the case with many places.
That totally makes sense. But so it still baffles me though that it works for WhatsApp and not for this one. And so that's why I'm thinking maybe there's something that WhatsApp group did that Telegram didn't, while we're still waiting for a permanent fix across the board from the developers of TalkBack. And maybe someone at TalkBack needs to be using Telegram to know what we're talking about.
Well, could
Yeah.
it be that each app might have like different frameworks that they build upon, and that's why?
User interface frameworks.
Yeah.
As a software developer, user interface frameworks are a major issue in terms of accessibility, and there are workarounds, but
Yeah.
not always.
Warren, if you check the narrator on Windows, if you use it in the regular mode, it wouldn't do. It would be exactly like TalkBack. It would read everything, but it won't do like character by character, whatever, in many places. But if you do the scan
bad.
mode, it would do character by character, word by word, whatever.
Okay.
I think VoiceOver does character by character, doesn't it? I can't remember when I was on iOS not being able to do that.
Never
pretty sure.
used it. Yeah,
John, do you know?
never used it, yeah. It's just like virtualizing the
I
window.
assumed it would work on VoiceOver.
I'm pretty sure VoiceOver does. I've never had that
But
issue when I
at
was
this point, we're
using it.
only making assumptions.
I don't use it enough. I know there is a character granulation. I don't use it enough to know it works everywhere.
Yeah,
John, when you're done, go grab Ash's iPhone.
I'm pretty sure it works.
Ash
It
wouldn't
works.
be mad at me.
It
Grab our
works
food bill.
someplace. I can't prove it works everywhere.
No, I'm pretty sure when I had whenever I was using it 5 years ago, I don't like if I was in an inbox, for instance, I could always check the spelling of a name without having to open a message. I'm pretty sure it works better than TalkBack.
But
does.
Ed, this thing about the inbox, is that only particular though to Aquamail? Is that
Don't
what's
know.
going on?
Try it in Gmail.
In Gmail?
It does not
Right.
work in Gmail. No.
Okay, so Dan
No.
says it doesn't work in Gmail.
Doesn't
So
work. Like, it's
problem.
rubbish.
There's a
Yeah.
problem. Underlining
And it
underlying
cannot be
problem.
app by app. It cannot be app by app because there are millions of apps, right? So they just need to fix it universally.
Another thing that kind of bums me out while we're complaining about things, and also I'll start by saying I agree that the image description and screen description is awesome, and I think that is the biggest, in my opinion, improvement over the last 5 years. But the problem is, and I don't know if there's any way to work around this, apps are allowed to block screen recording. If they block screen recording, it won't work. So if you're like in a banking app where they don't want screenshots taken, screen description won't work and image description will not work in that app. And same if you're watching, like say you're watching sports. I tried this on HBO Max. I was watching sports and I just wanted to know the score of the game, right? So try to do a screen description and it says you can't screen record in this app. So hopefully if it's possible, I would like TalkBack to work around this restriction for
You,
yourself.
you need to root the device and
No, I'm not
tell-
rooting the device. I'm
Oh,
saying
well, you wouldn't be able to do that because this is one of the most restricted stuff on Android. They won't do any allowance.
I
for that.
understand why it
Yeah.
is. I'm
Not
just
even for
saying if-
accessibility, because many non-accessibility related apps do the accessibility service, and if they open it for accessibility, it would be open to
I'm not
anything
asking them to
else.
open up for any app
yeah,
requesting
so-
accessibility. I'm asking them to open it up for TalkBack.
Probably,
Pre-installed app.
yeah, probably maybe the bank app or the HPO or any like Netflix app need to be requested if they see TalkBack running, or say check the log if it's running all the time.
Again,
That's
this is
a
the
blind
same-
user,
Again,
and
this
they
is-
need to do like a
Again, this is the same thing. Like it's
Yeah.
easier just to fix it at the source if possible,
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
than expecting app developers to.
they have to
do
do
what they
it
need
like
to.
that. They
Yeah.
have to do it like that.
Like I
Because
said, when I first started this, I don't know if there is a workaround, but if it's possible,
the only
needs to be fixed
workaround
to-
is rooting the device and telling the apps, well,
The workaround
I'm-
is
I'm-
to
I'm
get another
recording.
Use a
phone.
separate device. The
yeah,
workaround
yeah,
is
yeah,
use a separate device.
just the device would tell them there's nothing wrong and nobody's recording and you're recording it.
Mhm.
So, guys, I'm going back to Gmail to try something. I got
A net-blind Android
So
user's
that's our
automatic
forum. So I'm gonna
notification reading
change-
new characters,
Let's go to Word.
words, forums, a net, blind, Android, users,
So it does.
automatic, notification, reading, 2.
So it
Where
does
are you?
in Gmail.
Wait, where are you? Are you in a message or are you in the inbox list?
I'm in the inbox list.
New,
So if I open the message, let's see.
navigate, showing items, unread, Gary Melkin, 15 messages,
So there's Gary.
characters, words, compose,
See now I'm in the message.
It doesn't work, does it?
Gary Melkin,
Yeah,
15
but then
messages,
in the
blind
list,
Android user's image description,
it was
you share
able
photo,
to.
characters,
Let's see. Now
compose,
it doesn't work now that I
No,
opened
Right.
the whatever. So
primary,
is this inconsistency?
home, space.
You know, something needs to happen to where it behaves either it does or it doesn't. But
Yeah.
don't do it in one place
Yeah.
in the same app, and yet in another part of the app is not working. So
Well, no, we need the inconsistency resolved in one way. We don't need to resolve it in a way where it doesn't work. Do we?
that's
Yeah.
what I'm
Let's
saying.
not. Let's not be
Exactly.
silly, shall we? Like,
Yeah,
So it's either it doesn't work or it works, but don't do
no,
it.
Yeah,
it needs to work. Like, let's not resolve
No,
it where it doesn't
I'm
work.
with you that it needs to work, but all I'm saying is don't give me a half. I know some people say half.
yeah.
bread is
Well,
better than none.
I'm pretty sure the TalkBack developers know exactly what we're talking about, and they can by they can add it as layered. If the data presented, if the accessibility event or data presented this way, virtualize it and make it presented as text. That way, it would be doable. So it would be layered, like general browsing. But if the data presented in a certain way, it would be read the same way the other stuff read. So I think that's the way Joshua done it. Probably, I'm just speculating here, and they can do it. I'm pretty sure they will do it if enough people requested it. They will do it. It's a lot
And
of
I
work,
do
but it's doable.
I do want to mention to developers, if you don't want to listen to us griping, you are free to go because now we're talking about some things that may or may not interest you. And I just want to say that to everyone, as we're winding down. So, but we do want to say thank you to everyone who has come. And now that we're in this general discussion, if it's not of interest to you, please, you can feel free to leave.
My problem, I like to copy and paste a lot because I have a TT Media bot on my server, and when you use a TT Media bot and you have a radio station such as myself, you have to type U space and then the link to the radio station. Now I'm too lazy to actually type it out, so you have to type it out. You have to go copy and paste it. The problem is is with pasting, you have to be directly on the edit box to get it into the edit box. If you don't, it'll say not editable, even if you're on the keyboard. Just being on the keyboard will go not editable, even though I have text to paste.
Yeah, well, so if it says it's not editable, whatever that word is, so basically you got to be in an edit field in order to make that work. Now, I do, however, agree with you. One thing that I would like to see, and we've beaten this dead horse to death, is the ability, though, to just, I term it discriminately select text from non-edit fields. For example, say I'm just reading something on the web which is not an edit field, for example, and I want to just copy or select and copy some few words or whatever. I think that the confused screen reader does this.
Yeah, Karin will give me a big hug for saying that, but Jishu is doing that for years.
Yeah. So the confused screen reader does this, or but yeah, so that's the part that I would love to see happen with TalkBack. We're still waiting on.
It's a basic thing, like to be able to copy and paste in. It's like excited people can do it easily from anywhere of the screen, just copying, pasting anything. But on TalkBack, how come we cannot do this in 2025, almost 2026? We should change this.
It has to.
Yeah, but sighted people can do it easily.
we can do it through maybe third-party apps and such.
Yeah,
not with
exactly.
Yeah, but
TalkBack.
TalkBack should be able to do that.
Yeah. Again, if they add that, like virtualize the current window, it would be very doable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
something like a speech history dialer.
Yeah.
Well, one thing with the pasting, if you're not in the edit field, you can go up to the clipboard and paste it that way, but you can't use like your 3-finger triple tap to paste it in unless you do
and same
like
if you're
focus.
if the keyboard shortcut, like if you're using a keyboard, Control V will paste it even if the edit field's not in focus. So it's like, why can't TalkBack also do this? Like, why does it care if the edit box is in focus? If there isn't an edit box and there's a keyboard on screen, just paste it in the edit box.
All right. Any more praises or any decries? If I could say it that way.
I think we should call it good because you said edible rather than editable.
I have a quick one.
You're hungry.
I have a quick one. I like that split tap is here now. I've been wanting that for a while.
Oh yeah, you
That's
mentioned that last week, right? And so you gave a use case scenario for it that I overlooked, which is really helpful. And it had to do with media, for example. I want to skip several times or whatever. And so to me, that's a great feature.
Yeah, and iOS has had it forever. Even Fire tablets have had it. So it's good that it's here.
Now we just have to get Samsung to just get rid of their own version of TalkBack and just use one version. I mean, that'd be so much easier for those of us in the blind community.
Get it gone.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yeah, we're calling out to you, Samsung, for example. Stop
we know
this
Samsung
nonsense.
is listening to this podcast.
Stop the nonsense about your own store.
How about just renaming the ID of the app to something else to enable the actual TalkBack to be installed? That's the simplest way if they didn't want to change the whole accessibility framework because of their own TalkBack.
Yeah, you should have a choice.
They should have just give the other people, the people who don't want to use it, a choice to install the Google TalkBack.
Yeah, they could have just renamed the package they already had.
It used to be.
They could just have renamed the app TalkBack.
Yeah, it used to be have another name. What was the name of that? Voice assistant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Used to be like that.
I'm in agreement with you guys. If it's so hard for them to do, since it's baked into the OS, for example, rename yours to
Yeah,
something.
as simple as
Bring back the
renaming
voice
it. Yeah,
assistant back, or the naming scheme to voice
just like
assistant.
Prudence. Prudence is
Yeah.
based on TalkBack source, so just like
Yeah.
Prudence, give it another name and be done with it.
And let us install TalkBack from
Yeah,
the Play Store, so we have both on there, and I can
yeah,
switch to either one at ease without headaches. I think that would
exactly,
be really good.
exactly.
Do we think there's any credence to it possibly not being on the 26 phones, or do we think that was a scurrilous rumor?
It seems to me that, I mean, you don't know till the actual phones come out because it might be different on phones
Yeah.
that ship with the operating system. But as far as the beta, like I'm in the One UI 8.5 beta on my S25 Ultra, and it is there. They're running their own version of TalkBack 16.2, which, as usual, has basically none of the good. I mean, it has basic audio. I mean, image descriptions, but you can't ask follow-ups. You can't do a screen description. You can't do any online descriptions at all. Everything is done locally, and this is only on S25 models. Once it comes to older devices, they won't even have image descriptions at all.
Well, John, I look at it in like a wider perspective. The Samsung accessibility framework forked out of Google since the days of S6, if I remember correct, Warren. Since S6, they forked out of it.
Yeah.
So
it was
bringing
the
it back
S6.
to the actual Google's framework, like stripping the whole source, and it's many terabytes of source code. Just like do it to all their devices, to bring down the whole thing just because removing TalkBack. No, developing a new one like TalkBack with the current source code of Google's would be much easier task of replacing the whole thing. That requires a lot of work. I'm talking about like a lot of work. It's deeply integrated to the whole system.
Yeah, and I don't know why this is so hard for them to do, though, because
they can just rename the app, rename the screen reader,
and
God's
or
sake.
you know
About the
or
voice
remove
Yeah.
it like
And
or remove it
by
like
the
we
way,
say.
their own accessibility framework is much better than Google's working with Joshua. People using Joshua love the way it works with Samsung, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
and so like I said, if they could get rid of their messaging app and just go with the messages from Google, why couldn't they do this for those
That's
past 12
not
months?
framework related. That's an app. That's just an app, Warren.
Yeah, well, it's just
Screen
an
reader
app,
is
but it was
this
part of
this
it
is
was part of
accessibility
the
framework.
OS. Yeah, but that was part of the OS. For example, I cannot remove the Samsung messaging app from my older Samsung phone because it's part of the OS. And so
Used
if
to
they
be system
decided
app,
later
yeah.
on to jettison that and go with Google, that's all I'm asking. If
Yeah,
they're doing some
it's
goodies
mean.
for
It's very mean when they change that voice whatever accessibility assistant or whatever voice assistant thing. When they rename it to TalkBack, that was mean. That was mean.
And they haven't brought any improvements. That's the thing. Like, it
No,
doesn't
no.
work better than Google's TalkBack. In fact, when they released One UI 8, it broke. They had that horrible bug where when you had the screen hidden, you can't use Explore by
You
touch.
can't use
And Google
and
TalkBack works perfectly.
I
Google
think
TalkBack
the
works
only thing
perfectly.
it does, it works with the Samsung TTS. I think that's the only thing it does.
And that's an artificial limitation that they put
Yeah.
on. Like, it's not actually TalkBack that's better. It's actually worse because they managed to break it somehow with Explore by touch, with the screen hidden.
Absolutely.
So I want to add on to the screen hidden thing because I used to use screen hidden. And I tried to use it when I got my Galaxy S25 FE and it just broke.
Yeah, that was a few months back. They done it. Yep.
They have fixed it about a month or two ago, so it is not an issue now. But yeah, that was a big issue because people updating to One UI 8, if they had their screen hidden, they couldn't get back into their phone because you have to swipe up with 2 fingers to put in your code. So they were just stuck.
And get this one. Once we were like on TalkBack beta, and they released the beta that causes the phone to be silent. Totally. Like as soon as you install TalkBack, it's gone. but they fixed it at the same day. Was it the same day, Warren? I think it was even quicker than the last
I
quickest
think so.
fix.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah, it
think
was the
the
same day.
image
Victor.
thing that they fixed, that's really quick.
That was
Also,
really quick, but the quickest one was on the beta. But that was a
yes,
beta. That was a
you
beta,
are
not a
right.
release. Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
release thing. So this is definitely tasting the cake and the prize for the quickest one all
yeah,
time.
exactly.
And I got, look, this is the first time I get like TalkBack update, the 16.2 update at maybe the first one to get it. I got it like days before they. I know I got it like a while before anybody else, and I got the fix probably
I still
before
haven't
other people.
technically got it. I had to sideload it.
Yeah, I didn't. I just got like the regular Play Store. My phone is ripped apart, rooted, modified, you name it. I've done it because it has the Chinese operating system. I have to strip it down of all the third-party stuff and install an actual firewall and block lots of apps from connecting to the internet. Do lots of crazy stuff. So I'm supposed to be the last to get those things. So probably they
Yeah,
will treat
but
people
it gave it
differently.
to you, so that was
Yeah,
really good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is why we want Samsung to be on the same page
Mhm.
and give us what we need. And so, yeah,